Hello everyone, Air here, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to build XiangLing. XiangLing is one of my main character, and I would say fortunate or unfortunate. I summoned her 6 times and I already have her unlocked, so I know this character possibly better than my whole cast. So before we go over the weapons and artifacts, let's review the constellations and talents first. Let's take a look at the first unlocked constellation. So enemies hit by Goba is your E elemental skill, the Tanuki, or the bear, whatever you want to call it. Attacks have their pyro resist reduced by 15% for 6 seconds, which means after the first blast, the second, third, fourth will deal more damage, or you can combo with another fire character, or XiangLing's elemental burst. So let's see, the second one here is the last attack in the normal attack sequence applies the implode status on an enemy for 2 seconds. An explosion will occur once this duration ends, dealing 75% of XiangLing's attack as AoE pyro damage. Honestly, this one, I don't really see it often happens. I assume it happens or they died already because my XiangLing is actually really strong. Can't really see this happening, but apparently you'll deal this AoE pyro damage at the end. So the fry here is just increasing the level cap for your Q, your elemental burst. Okay, so the fourth one is really important. When you have the fourth one unlocked, her elemental burst stays out, the duration is increased by 40%. In general, her elemental burst stays out for 10 seconds plus 40%, so that's 14 seconds. That's a really long time. Okay, so we're going to look at the Tanuki here. This is the raising the cap. And last but not least, we have condensed pyronado. For the duration of the elemental burst, all party members receive a 15% pyro damage bonus. So if you team up with another fire character, your other fire character will deal a lot of damage, or even just your E, your elemental skill, will deal a lot of damage. So now let's take a look at talents. Talent, this is just a normal attack. I won't go over the normal attack. Okay, so this is the flame. This is the Tanuki. So when you have it at, okay, we'll go down later actually. So this is damage, and the cooldown is 12 seconds. The cooldown is actually, how to say it? It's actually 7 seconds because it's been out. It's gonna be out for 5 seconds. When it's gone, your cooldown is usually almost done. So minus that 5 second being active, so I would say it's 7 seconds. This is the elemental burst. The more when you do an actual combo, it deals more damage. And like I said, duration lasts 10 seconds, and the cooldown is longer than usual elemental bursts. A lot of the elemental bursts are like 15 seconds, but this one, I guess they don't want you to stack a lot of energy recharge, otherwise you can use it right away. I guess they don't want to do that, otherwise it's too OP. Okay, this one increases the flame range, but this one's already there, and I'm telling you the flame range is pretty bad. Okay, so when you have yourself unlocked your level cap, raise your level cap to 70, you get this one. So when Goba's attack effect ends, Goba leaves a chili pepper on the spot where it disappeared. Waking up a chili pepper increases attack by 10% for 10 seconds. It's really good. So when you're done, you're waiting for your cooldown, you can pick up that pepper, and then she gets 10% attack up. Whoever grabs it gets it. Well, last but not least is cooking. Okay, so how do you build her? So when you build her, I would recommend having you know what, before I jump into that, let's talk about weapon. I was very lucky and unlucky at the same time. My only S5-star hero is Fenty that I got, and my second 5-star summon was this weapon. So I only have 2 5-stars, this and this, and I would say this is one of her best weapon because her attack is fast enough, it's very long, but this increases her attack, makes it and faster, and she deals a lot of damage. So the bottom is the one that I'm using, the Skyward Spine. So we're gonna just go through the description of this weapon. The left one is when it's not maxed out, the right one is when it's maxed out. So the left one is level 1, which is what I have. So increases critical rate by 8%, increases normal attack speed by 12%, which is great because she needs critical rate and attack speed. Makes her normal much stronger. Additionally, normal and charge attacks hits on enemies have a 50% chance to trigger a vacuum blade that deals 40% of attack as damage in a small AoE. So this one actually works. 50% chance, usually I'll kind of suck them in and they kind of stay in place and allowing you hit more than one target without using your charge attack. This effect can occur no more than once every 2 seconds, which is really fast. Okay, now we have the one on the top. I don't know how you pronounce this. Kunwu's Iris Rift. Okay, so increases normal attack speed by 10%. So they both increases normal attack speed, and I think she needs it. Otherwise, she's just gonna stand there forever. Increases damage against enemies affected by any element by 24%, which means when you use your elemental skill, this one you'll get extra 24% attack, which I think is also very good because usually when you attack an enemy, you're going to deploy your E and then you do your attack. Now let's talk about the 4 stars weapon. Dragon's Bane is one of the weapons that we'll recommend. Increases damage against enemies affected by hydro or pyro by 20%, which means, like I said before, you deploy your bear, and then when it shoots out the blast, apply fire, and then now you get 20% extra damage. Even if you're not using the bear, if you're using your elemental burst, it'll give you the same bonus attack. Next we have Prototype Grudge. This one's also very good. After using elemental skill, increases normal and charge attack damage by 8% for 12 seconds and max 2 stacks. Same thing, you deploy your bear and then now you get the attack stack. So the ones I recommend, they kind of work out the same. Perhaps I should say similar. Now we're going to look at the artifacts. So Crimson Witch of Flames, I think this one is really good on her. Pyro damage bonus plus 15% when it's 2 pieces. And then when it's 4 pieces, it increases overload and burning damage by 40%. Overload is when you meet thunder. Increases vaporize and melt. Vaporize is water and fire. Melt is ice and fire. By 15%, using an elemental skill increases 2p set effects by 50% for 10 seconds, max 3 stacks. So your 2p's is the one on the left, pyro damage bonus by 50% by 50%. 15% by 50% if you have 4 set when you use your teddy bear. So preferably when you use this set here, you want to use your E first, or elemental skill first, and then you use your elemental burst. That'll deal a lot of damage. And if you have characters that you can combo with overload, for example Razor, Beto, Fischl, then your overloaded would deal 40% damage more of whatever your elemental mastery is. If you were to use this set, you're looking to get elemental mastery from this set rather than attack. Well, you want attack too, but elemental mastery would be your main focus. Next we have Martial Artist. I like this set a lot too. Increases normal and charge attack damage by 15%. She uses normal attack 8% of the time. And when we have 4 pieces, after using elemental skill, increases normal and charge attack damage by 25% for 8 seconds. So this one works really well with her weapons that I recommended because they work very similar. You deploy your bear and then you get the normal attack and charge attack damage increased. If you are to use this set, focus mainly on your critical rate, critical damage, and attack percent. Gladiator's Finale. This is the set I'm using. The reason why is because it's not that I don't like it, and it's not that I really like it. This one is really easy to farm. It's a really common drop. The 2-piece is really nice, attack plus 18%. The 4-piece set would be if the wielder of this artifact set uses the sword, claymore, or polearm, increases their normal attack damage by 35%. I love this a lot, especially since I have the 5-star weapon. 80% of my time, I am using my normal attacks, and this is an invisible stats that you can't see from your character attribute. Okay, the last set I would recommend is the Noblesse Oblige. Elemental burst damage plus 20%. This one is really good because her elemental burst is one with the longest duration in the game. And when we have 4 pieces, using an elemental burst increases all party members' attack by 20% for 12 seconds. This effect cannot stack. If you build her as a support, and your main purpose of using her is to use her elemental burst, this set is perfect. You just use her, switch her in, uses your elemental burst, switch her out, and then you want to maybe, I don't know, combo with your other characters to do other elemental reaction, then this is perfect. And now your other party members' attack also increases during her long elemental burst. If you use this artifact, just focus on elemental mastery and energy recharge. You want to use elemental burst as often as possible. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys my stats. Her attack is not very high for my character, but she hits very, very hard. Maybe each hit is around 15, well, less than 2k, but 1500, between 1500 and 2k. And then my third and fourth attack is around 5 to 700. Also depends on the opponent's level and defense. But one sequence of her normal attack I do around 6 to 7k right now. The reason why is because, well, even though the attack is really low, first I get the 35% damage from here. And my crit damage is very high. Unfortunately, I just don't have the luck to get high crit rate, but if I do prompt my crit, I do a lot of damage. And on top of that, this one here, physical damage bonus plus 43.5%. So these are all hidden stats. So I would say with all that calculated, my attack is probably plus. Normal attack would be plus around, that's 43 crit damage. Yeah, I'm talking about like 2.5k damage, I think. Well, my calculation might be kind of off, but it deals a lot of damage. But you just don't see this invisible one. And I also stack quite a lot of elemental mastery because I always use her to combo with someone else. Because these two are my main, then I would combo off with her swirl. So that's how I build her, but there's definitely a lot of different kind of build. And also this 35% damage. So yeah, I think it's around 2.5k. And what you want to look for, again, it depends what set you're using, but in general, you want to build, she needs a lot of different stats. She wants to have attack, she wants to have crit rate and crit damage, and she wants elemental mastery. But the main would probably be attack, elemental mastery, crit rate, and then last would be crit damage. The rest are not very important. But if you're not, I have to say, if you're using her, you should be trying to build elemental mastery using her bear and her Q to combo with other element. Otherwise, I think she's just not good enough to be a normal attack DPS. Other than that, I think I have covered pretty much most of the stuff and the set that I mentioned as well. And usually when you have a set of gladiator, make sure your fifth one is something that gives you maybe attack percent. You want something like these because you don't need a fifth set really. So whatever your fifth set, your fifth piece give you what you want, like attack, energy recharge, crit damage, whatever, then that's really good. Anyways guys, I hope this is informative. I hope this video helped you build your XiangLing and understand your character better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.